the more refined what we get, where we get our energy from, the more light we will feel. And the more heavy, the more unconscious, also in the process of eating, the more unconscious, the more rushed, the more instinctual we are, the heavier the fuel will make us. There's two kinds of fuel. Pure fuel, which is eating when you really need to eat, eating very healthy food, best, organic, fruits and vegetables are the best, the superfoods, pollen and spirulina, ginseng and gokru and ashwagandha and all the wonderful superfoods and so forth, eating in the right quantities. That will make the food pure. Fresh air, good, restful, stressful sleep, healthy interaction, and good muladhara. That's a very pure form of energy. When we did this 42-day fasting, with these few cups of juice and broth, it was really noticeable. Yeah, it was half an hour of root chakra practice a day and about an hour of breathing exercises. That's what I did, and the rest of the day was also 10 or 12 hours of yoga, but not specifically for vitality. And then having energy which comes from such a pure source, not from food, just very, very little from drinks, but from such a pure force through air and prana and the root chakra, it creates this overall state of ecstatic purity and of peace. Because as you will see, the impure fuel from industrial food and from all that, it leaves a residue of impurity. So being nourished from such very pure sources gives this state of quietness. Impure fuel, industrial food, it's not there was no, in our evolution, there was no industrial food. The body is not adapted to it. It takes time, thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of years for evolution to adapt to a new kind of food. And the industrial food is supposed to taste addictive, but it's not actually feeding the body, and a lot of it the body cannot digest. Any kind of overeating, emotional eating, any food that the body cannot digest in the end will leave residues. Oversleeping, unconscious entertainment, unconscious human interaction will create a kind of energizing. Yeah, you notice, you sit there in front of this and there is some kind of there is some kind of rush there in front of the screen. There is an energy, but when you finish with the screen, please check, I've tried it a few times. When you finish watching a movie or something, I don't know what, the new Avengers, if there is, then close your eyes and do awareness. It's really exhausting. I noticed that, after watching a movie for an hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm depleted. It's quite difficult because it's not a very pure source of fuel. If you watch something or read something that elevates your heart, it awakens the vitality of the heart, and that's a different story. But if it's just entertainment, it is like junk food. The pure fuel is easy to burn, it gives a lot of energy and very little toxins, very little pollution in the body. The impure fuel is hard to burn and it brings heaviness and toxins. In Ayurveda, it is said that anything that the body cannot digest will remain as toxins, as ama. So, if you could eat 400 grams of food and you eat 700 grams, you will probably digest 400 and then those 300 will remain as residue. They will rot in the body. And then the body takes the toxins, it poos a little bit out, takes some of the toxins, and normally it stores it in some fat tissue. And he says, when I have time, I deal with it. When I have time, I deal with it. When I have time, I deal with it. And then all sorts of rotten pieces of things there are floating in our body. And that's why we feel tired, that's why we feel agitated, and eventually it accumulates to all sorts of diseases. The more refined, the more pure the fuel, so working on Muladhara will give you a much more pure fuel than any kind of food. But the more refined where we get our energy from, the more light we will feel, and the more heavy, the more unconscious, also in the process of eating, the more unconscious, the more rushed, the more instinctual we are, the heavier the fuel will make us. So when we take in food, entertainment, some kind of social satisfaction, which is vitalizing, you go to a party, it's vitalizing. For example, dancing is a form of fire. It burns the inside, and then our vitality is put in action. So when we socialize, there is a vitality there. And if that socializing is heartful and beautiful, it will create a harmonious vitality in us. But if that socializing is unconscious, is full of show-off, is full of tensions, is full of fakeness, and so forth, it will create a strange feeling. And eventually, when you come out of such things, whether you eat unconsciously, entertain unconsciously, socialize unconsciously, it will make us heavy, and it will make us lazy, and we feel like, I don't feel like doing anything good. This is how do you know you have ingested impure fuel inside? This is the very clear toxin. It's like, ugh, Homer Simpson, Al Bundy, I don't feel like doing anything good. Give me more impure fuel. That's all you want after that. And it drags down and goes down, and then we go into lower and lower habits, and we go lower and lower in that. Now, when we are in the absence of fuel, we will feel tired, we will feel starved. But very often, we don't really miss fuel, we miss fire, and we miss the purity. Fuel essentially is the power of the earth, and it's the power of the root chakra. So the vitality of the root chakra is the vitality of fuel. And then the next ingredient, the next F of vitality, the fire, is related to the navel chakra. So fire turns calories into life, turns fuel into usable energy. I don't know if you noticed, but this whole part of the body, the whole trunk, from here all the way down, up to the genitals not including, is all a power plant. This higher part takes air and separates the O2 and CO2 and turns it into energy. This takes one part of energy from the diaphragm up, and then the heart spreads that energy. It's a system, the lungs and heart, which spread that energy in the body. And then from the diaphragm down, everything is about the engine, taking the food, releasing the toxins, and taking out the energy and the building blocks from the food so that the body can use them. It's nice that it's put in the same place. It's nice not to have the liver and the elbow and the kidneys and the knees and so forth. So the whole system is quite nicely packed over there. So this is the seat of fire. The abdomen is the seat of fire, and we'll speak about this more as we get to the navel chakra, but as a touch, we'll speak about this now. When the fire is healthy, it digests and gives life. When the fire is weak, and once we get to the navel chakra, we'll learn how to strengthen the fire. When the fire is weak, it can't burn. And therefore, we can only use a little bit of the fuel. We get 50 liters of fuel, 1 liter we put in the engine and the car is going, and 49 liters make our car heavy. Also, I just returned to the experience of the fasting because it's quite recent for us. So when you finish this fast, and also when we did this 42 days, and also when we did 14 water fast, you eat and the body is like, I don't remember what to do with it. And the food just stays there. It's just, nobody is willing to, everybody is on vacation, you need to call them from wherever. The body just doesn't digest. There is no fire. And it literally takes, it took maybe 3 or 4 days for me, and for Blandine even more, to be able to eat. We just have to have some kind of soup, some kind of juice, and with very long distance between them. And then after drinking, I don't know what, after the 14-day fast, I drank literally half a cup of soup. And I felt like I'm dead. I can't move, I can't think, I'm digesting. So I just had a few sips. But in the absence of fire, it's very, very exhausting for the body. And I actually sat, I went to the kitchen, I turned on the fire, and I sat and looked at it until my digestion was reignited. When the fire is too much, that was weak fire. When the fire is excessive, we burn too much. The food passes too quickly, we don't use all the energy, and it leads to a very fast depletion and to agitation. It is a little bit like a chihuahua on amphetamines. Yeah? Too much, everything. Yeah? This is when the fire is too much. It is a restlessness. And such people, they can get very skinny, and it's some people, they go between these two. Too weak, too strong. Too weak, excessive. Depleted, this like a bipolar fire. Too high, too low. They often come together. When we get to the navel chakra, we'll speak a lot about how to harmonize. This is where they get harmonized, and the asanas for the navel chakra, they just take care of it in a wonderful way.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, Tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.